Hello viewers, today we have Go for Volkswagen. The client complained it's hard starting and loss of power, some misfire from time to time. And now I'm going to hook up the diagnostic tool and see what we get. I hooked up the diagnostic tool. It's in front of the shift. And let's see what faults we get. I'm going to try to not be so shaky. Camshaft position sensor, G40, no signal. Okay, I'm going to see where it sits and going to test him. Okay, I find it. This is the multi-plug for the sensor, and the sensor itself is behind the gear of the camshaft, somewhere under here. So if we need to remove it and change it, we need to remove this gear. Doesn't matter, I will start with testing the wires. There are 3 pins. One should be ground, one should be 5-volt reference, and one should be the signal wire. I think the middle one was the signal. We're going to check it. Okay, I will start with pin 3. This should be ground. I hooked up the test light to a battery positive. I'll show you. Whenever I touch a ground, it flickers. So, pin 3. We have a good and stable ground. I hooked up the scope, the low budget one, the Handtech, and I'm testing the pin 1. That should be 5-volt reference, so I need to turn the ignition on. Okay, ignition is on. And we are getting, just a second, I'm still learning with this one, around 5 volts, so the reference one is okay. Now I'm going to hook it to the pin 2, and we're going to start the car and see are we getting any signal. Okay, so we are at pin 2. Pin 2 should be our signal, and we are getting, now the ignition is on, so we are getting once again 5-volt. Now I'm going to start the car and see are we getting any waveform. It should be from 5 to 0, if I remember right. I'm going to leave you on the stand and going to start the car. So we are not getting any waveform, so I'm going to replace this sensor. The new sensor came. I will show you how it looks. So I guess it's held by 3 bolts, as you can see. And now I'm going to show you how to change it. It's going to be a tough one. For changing the camshaft sensor, we need to remove the timing belt. Great design, Volkswagen. So we're not going to change the timing belt, so we're going to try to do it on the easy side. We're going to lose this bolt for the camshaft gear, and after that we're going to lose the pulley, the tensioner pulley for the timing belt, this nut that I'm showing. So the belt has some slack. We're going to pull up the gear, we're going to clamp it with something so the teeth doesn't rotate, and when we pull it, we're going to lift it up so the belt doesn't move from below on the crankshaft itself, and after that we're going to undo some bolts. For undoing the camshaft, we're going to use this walking tool and 18mm wrench. So we loosened the bolt from the camshaft. It was kind of tough, but we were able to do it. We use a zip tie for holding the belt to the gear. And now I'm going to loosen the tensioner so we have some slack in the timing belt to have easier way to remove the pulley of the camshaft from here. Okay, I undo the nut. And I can loosen the tensioner for some slack in the belt. I remove the bolt for the camshaft. And now I'm going to remove the gear from here to have space for removing the camshaft sensor itself.
Добре, не штракне.
Okay, I want to show you that we have a notch. Yeah, it's here. The visual inspection shows that the sensor is teared apart. So now I'm going to undo. It's hard to show you on camera. Okay. I need to remove this metal shoot. You're going to see on your camera what you need to undo. This metal shoot should come off. So I undo the upper bolt, and now I can bend a little bit the metal shoot so to have access to remove the cam sensor itself. It's held by two bolts. It's hard to show on camera. My colleague is showing one of them. This is one of the bolts. Трябва да можеш един.
Няма. Празна дупка.
The other bolt is missing. So only one bolt. Because of the low space, we used the angle bit for undoing the bolt. Now we can remove the sensor. The faulty one and the new one. This is missing on the faulty one. It's broke. So it turns out there is only one bolt to the sensor here and one for the bracket. We are reassembling everything. We put the gear for the camshaft and now tightening the tensioner, and I'm going to hook up the scope and see what signal we are getting. Just to be on the safety side, I'm going to do few rotations by hand and see if everything's okay. Okay, I'm back in the car. Again, hooked up the diagnostic tool, VAGCOM, ignition on, and now let's check the fault codes. Can we clean it? Okay, now I'm going to start the car and see, are we going to set the fault code again. Sorry, I had a phone call. So the car is working for around several minutes. Let's check the fault memory. And there is no fault codes. So I guess this is a fix. I'm going to hook up the oscilloscope and see are we getting a waveform, square waveform signal from the sensor now. Okay, I hooked the oscilloscope and now I'm going to start the car and see are we getting any signal. So this is the signal that our good working sensor should have from 0 to 5 volts. I will show you the upper mark. This is the top one and the down. It's around 0 volts. So this was a faulty camshaft sensor and really terrible design for changing the sensor itself, but doesn't matter. Some glitch here. Thanks for watching.